Welcome. In this video, I'll be showing you how to generate user-friendly documentation for your Django project using Sphinx. So let's begin. So the first thing that we need to do is to create a virtual environment, and for that we would need the terminal. So we would need to click on the terminal button by the top left corner here. Alternatively, we can click on this icon, the one by the top right corner. So we can click on either of these two. I'll just go with this one. And now we've just opened our terminal. I'm going to switch the profile from PowerShell to CMD because PowerShell tends to cause issues. Now we've just opened the terminal. So like I said, the first thing that we need to do is to create a virtual environment. So let's go ahead and do that. So the command for creating a virtual environment is python-mvenv, and the name of the virtual environment, I'm just going to leave it as venv. We notice a new environment has been created. Do you want to select it for the workspace folder? Yes. Okay, great. Our virtual environment has been created, and it's over here. As you can see, we didn't have this before. This wasn't here before we executed this command. So now let's activate the virtual environment. And to activate it, it's going to be venv /script /activate. Perfect. Our virtual environment has been activated. So since we're using Django and Sphinx, would need to install those two libraries. So let's just start with Django. That's going to be pip install Django. Go. Let's give it a second or two. Go. So once we've installed Django, we'll proceed to install Sphinx. So it's still loading. Go. Successfully installed these. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and install Sphinx. We can ignore this. We should still be able to do what we want to do without upgrading pip. So now let's install Sphinx. To do that, we'd have to execute this command: pip install -u space Sphinx. Hopefully this is not going to take forever. Go. Let's give it a second or two. Go. Perfect. Now the next thing is to install a theme that we will use, to ensure that our documentation is as user-friendly as it can be. So let's use this command to install the theme, and we're using the Sphinx RTD theme. So that's the one that we're installing now. RTD theme. Go. It says that the requirement is already satisfied for some reason. Now let's execute the by the way, there's something that we didn't do, and that's creating the docs folder. So now let's create a folder called docs where our documentation will reside. So I'm just going to come this side and then click on this icon, and then docs. No, it shouldn't be within any of the folders that we already have. It should be in the root of our main folder, which in this case is blog project. So I'm just going to right click anywhere here and then select the new folder button and then name the folder docs. Okay, now let's proceed. So what is it that we need to do now? We need to cd into our newly created docs folder and execute a command. I'll show you the command that we should execute in a second. Okay, so the command that we need to execute is Sphinx quick start. Let's see what Sphinx quick start will do. So Sphinx quick start. Do I not have any spelling mistakes there? Sphinx quick start. No, I don't. Okay, so after executing that, now we asked whether we want to separate source and build directories. We're just going to go with the default, which is no. And then project name, let's just name it blog project or blog app. You can name it anything. I don't think it affects anything. So author names, that's me. I'm just going to put my name there. Project release, I'm just going to do 0.1. I think you can put anything here as well. It doesn't have to be 0.1. And then for the project language, we'll go with English, the default. So I'll just hit enter. Okay, perfect. Let's see what has been created by Sphinx for us. Okay, there we go. So we got some files and some folders that have been created, by Sphinx for us. So now we need to modify our conf.py file. We need to add a few things in here. So the first thing that we will do is to specify rather the extensions that we want to be used in our documentation. So we're going to use Sphinx. These have got to be, I think Copilot is giving us what we want, what we exactly want. So Sphinx ext.autodoc and Sphinx.ext.napoleon, Sphinx.ext.viewcode. Those are the extensions that we want. I just need to add quotation marks around them. So if you're not using Copilot, then you can just manually type these. But I've just used Copilot so that we can save time. Another quotation mark here. Okay, perfect. I think the line is too long. Yep. Let's just split this into, not split it, span it rather, across multiple lines. Okay, perfect. Now what else do we need to do? We need to add some code over here. So we need to import OS. We need to import sys. Yes, Copilot, we need to import sys. I'm just going to type that, import sys. Okay, what else should we add there? So we need to add the following code. That's going to be, Copilot is at it again, helping us out, but we're just going to manually type. So sys.path.insert bracket. Do we need to put a 0? Yes, we need to put a 0. Thank you, Copilot. os.path path dot absolute path, abs path, and then our parentheses. So unfortunately, Copilot, we're not going to add what you want us to add this time around. We're just going to leave 2 dots instead of 4 dots with a / in between. Now we need to add something else as well. So that's going to be os dot environ come on, on, and then yes, we want a square bracket, and within our square brackets we're just going to type Django settings module. Yes, thank you for that, Copilot. So Django settings module square brackets is equal to, and then we put the name of our project. So let's see, is it blog? No, I was actually blog project. It's blog project. So we need to modify that to blog project. Okay, perfect. What else do we need to do? One more thing. Yes, just going to type Django.setup. Did we install Django? I think we didn't install Django. I think that's the reason why we're getting this wiggly line. So let's just go into our terminal and install Django. Didn't we install Django? I don't remember. What is it that we installed initially? We installed Sphinx, but did we install? Yes, we actually installed Django. Well, let's just ignore that. Let's undefined Django. Let's ignore that. I think it will go away later, because I see we did install Django. I think it's the first library that we installed, so we are good. We'll see if we get error messages later on. Okay, perfect. Now let's proceed. We need to also specify the theme. So from Alabaster, we don't want to use Alabaster. We want to use the one that we installed, which is Sphinx _RTD theme. Thank you, Copilot. Sphinx RTD theme, that's the one that we want to install. Now I think we've done everything that needs to be done within our content.py file. Let's just see if there's anything that we can add. I don't think there's anything more that we should add, so let's go back to our terminal all the way to the bottom. Go. Okay, perfect. So what's the next command that we need to execute? So we need to execute the Sphinx API dog command. So to do that, we need to go back into the parent folders. As you know, we're currently in the docs folder, so let's go out of the docs folder. Okay, perfect. We no longer have docs in the path, so we are in the parent folder. So now let's execute this command that I told you about. So that's going to be Sphinx dash API dog dash o and then docs. So we're going to do this. We're going to execute this command for each and every one of our packages. And before we actually execute this command, before we put the name of any package here, let's just check if indeed these folders of ours that we have here are packages. So each and every one of them needs to have this init _ init __.py file, which turns our folders into packages. So it seems like we got our _ init.py file within the blog folder, so we are fine. But if you don't have this, you need to manually create one. Let me just delete it and create one so that I can show you how to go about doing that. So I'll just click on the name of the folder and then click on this new file button, and then remember it's __, so 1 _ 2 _ and then init and then 1 _ 2 .py. Great. So we've just created our init.py file, making blog and a package. So let's see if we also got an init file in here. So we do have one already. We don't need one in our docs folder. We only need the init file in the folders rather, where we have Python modules. So let's check for the home app. So we do have our init file in here, so we'll just close that and then pause. We do have an init file here. Can move forward, and then to do, we do have an init file. We are good. And then user authentication, we do have init.py file. And then the other thing that I want us to just ensure that we have are doc strings. So remember, Sphinx generate documentation from doc strings. So we need to ensure that we do have doc strings in our module. So I'm just going to come to our blog package and go to the views.py file to check if I do have doc strings. So yes, I do have doc strings within my home view. I got doc strings in my add blog view, and let's see if I do have doc strings in the blog project. This one is fine. Like, there isn't much code that that needs doc strings. Yeah, so we're just going to ignore the blog project, which is like the main folder, the one that Django creates for you when you initialize a Django project. Let's go to home app. Let's see if we do have doc strings. I'm just going to close that. Where is home? Close this, and then home is here, view. I do have doc strings, but this is not a very nice doc string. Please do not do this. Do not add like one-liners, especially if the view or a model, if your function or your class has got a lot of code, please ensure that your doc strings are detailed and not just one-liners. At least for this one, it's short. It's just a return statement in there. But we might also want to add information about this parameter, just as was done in this view. Let me show you. So this one, so the add block view, so the request parameter was included in the doc strings here under the arguments section, where we've got request, get, or post, display an empty form, or validate the form data. So we need to do the same for this view, just to include the information for the request parameter. But we're not going to do that now, otherwise the video might also get long. I believe the doc strings that we have are sufficient for us to demonstrate or to learn how to generate documentation for a Django project. Let's also see if we've got doc strings in our models. So I do not have anything in my models, so that's fine. What else? Pose. Do we have doc strings in here? I've got nothing in my views. Do I have anything in my models? I've got nothing. Since like I've got nothing in my pose, we just keep that. What about to do? Why not? I've got stuff in here. Yep, I've got doc strings for my home function or my home view. I've got doc strings for my view to do view, and then I've got doc strings for my create to do view. So yeah, essentially just ensure that you do have doc strings in all your views and all your models. So that's classes and functions. So now let's go back to the terminal. So remember, we had typed this argument, and now we need to enter the name of the folder after this, after the docs keyword over here. So we're going to start with blog project. Let's just start with blog project. Blog project, but like I said, we're going to do this for each and every one of these folders. Blog project, and then let's put a / and then hit enter. Let's hope we don't get any error messages. So we didn't get any error messages. So the purpose of executing this command is so that we can get some RST files generated. So let's go into our docs folder to see if the RST files have been generated. RST files, yes. So we've got index.rst file. I believe this was generated when we executed this command, and then we also got our modules.rst file. I believe this was also generated when we executed the Sphinx API doc command. So let's just check what it is that we have in our modules and in our index.rst. So this is what we have. And then what about modules? We got blog project only. We might need to modify this later. Now we want to start by modifying the index.rst file and just include the modules .rst file. And to do that, we're just going to type modules, and that's it. So now let's come back to the terminal, and remember I said we need to execute this command for each and every one of our folders, so that doc strings within those folders or within the modules that are within those folders may also be used to generate our documentation. So we executed this command for our blog project folder. Let's just copy the command and see if we can paste it here. So it doesn't allow me to paste. I'm just going to hit the arrow pointing upwards to get the command that I recently executed. So from blog project, I'm just going to type what? Blog. Yes, we do have a folder titled blog, as you can see here, blog. So let's hit enter, see if we don't get an error message. So we didn't get an error message. Let's see if there's anything that was generated within our docs folder. So we can see blog.rst has been created for us, which is nice. Let's see what is in our module. So we only have blog project, and we might want to add blog. Let's just add blog, just blog, please. Copilot, we only want blog, we don't want anything longer than that. Now let's execute the command again for which folder. Let's see. So we've done it for the blog project, we've done it for the blog. We need to do it for home app. So home, how do we spell that? Underscore app and then /. No error messages, please. Yes, we didn't get an error message. Let's see if something has been generated. Home app, yes, home app.rst. So we're just going to add home app here. App. Perfect. Now let's do the same for the I've got a lot of folders, I've got a lot of apps, and you might not have as many apps as I have. Maybe your project might have only 2 folders or 3. You can just execute the Sphinx API doc for those folders. If you've got 3, yeah, so just do it for those 3 folders. Now let's see the folder that we need to execute the Sphinx API doc command for now. So we've done blog project, blog, and home app. We also need to do it for the pose to do and user authentication. So let's do it for the pose now. Pose /. There we go. Perfect. And then we come back to our modules.rst and then type pose. Perfect. Now let's do it for the to do. Is that the correct spelling? Yes, that's the correct spelling. Actually, not the correct spelling. There's an O missing. So to do, and then /. No error message. Nice. Now what else do we need to do? We need to do add to do. Perfect. And then I think we've got one more app to execute this command for, and that's going to be the user authentication. User underscore authentication /. Is that the correct spelling? Let's just check. User AUTHENTICATION and then /. That's okay. And then let me just copy this and paste it here. It's very long. Yeah, perfect. I think we're done now. Now what is it that we need to do? We need to execute the make HTML command, and to do that we would need to cd into our docs folder. So cd docs and run our make HTML command. So the make HTML command is the one that should generate our documentation, the documentation that we should be able to view and peruse. So let's see what we've got in the build. So as you can see, we currently do not have anything in the build folder. So executing the make HTML should populate our build folder. So let me just execute it now. Okay, so we did get an error message. It's saying Django is not defined. So that's a problem. I remember we installed Django. Let's just go to our config.py file. So Django is not installed. So we were getting this before, and I ignored it because we had installed Django. So there's something that I didn't include here. So I need to add an import statement importing Django. So import Django. Okay, perfect. Now the squiggly line is gone. So let's try again. But before we run the make HTML command, we're just going to make clean. No, we don't really need to run make clean because nothing is being generated. I see our build folder is still empty. So we're just going to run the make HTML command again. And see what happens. So no error messages, please. Sphinx, go. So far so good. So we do have a problem. Let's see what problem is this. Duplicate object description of to do models.user other instance in to do user. Now this is our just warnings. I think our doc string has been generated. Warning duplicate object description of blog models post other instance in blog. So yeah, this has got nothing to do with Sphinx. Unexpected indentation. This is just a style, code style. Block quote ends without a blank line. Again, style, duplicate objects. So I think just style and based coding practices. We're going to ignore these. This shouldn't stop Sphinx from generating documentation. So we've just generated our documentation. Now let's check if our build folder is being populated. And perfect, it has actually been populated. So let's go ahead and view our HTML file. So let me actually do this through my file manager. I think doing it that way would make life easy for us. So where is this folder, by the way? I think it's here. I'm just going to come here and then it's in here. Where is that folder? Django Prac. Yes, that's where it is. Blog project. This is where it is. And then we go to our docs folder, build HTML, and then we want the index file. That's the one that allows us to view our documentation. Index, where are you? Here you are. That. Okay, perfect. Let me just get this link and open this in a different browser. Even using it in that browser shouldn't cause any issues. I just want to do it here for some reason. So here is our documentation that has been generated by Sphinx. So let's have a look. So blog project package. This one doesn't have anything because it doesn't have doc strings. Remember, it's the one that Django creates for us. So let's actually look at the one that I created myself, which is, for example, the blog package, which is the blog app. So let's click on this one, and then blog.forms.module. So the forms module of the blog app. So let's see what we have. So we got a form called post form, and this is the documentation that was generated for the post form. A form for creating and editing blog posts. Model, the model associated with this form. Type post. Fields, the fields included in this form is a list, type list. And then we also have a class within the post form. Let's just check if this is correct. I'm going to go back to VS Code and go to, let's close this, go to blog, and then when I get to blog I want to go to form, and then let me just move this downwards so that we can have a look at the form that we have here. So we've got a form indeed called post form. It's a class, and this is like an overview, description or explanation of this form or of this class. So a form for creating and editing blog posts, and these are the attributes model and fields. So model is a post, the model associated with this form. So we'll go back again to the browser to check if this information is in the documentation. So the form associated with this form, and then fields, which is a list, the fields included in this form. So let's go back to the browser to see if this information is also in our documentation. So a form for creating and editing blog posts, indeed I saw that. The model associated with this form, and then type post, and then fields, the fields included in this form. So that's the list, and then this is let me just go back. So this is the model, which is the attribute, one of the attributes of the class. So we've got model, and we also got fields over here. So model and fields, and model indeed is a type of post, and then fields is a type of list. So let's go back again there. So fields is a list, yes, fields is a list, and the fields included in this form, we saw this. Let's just go back, the fields included in this form. Perfect. So we managed to successfully generate documentation for a Django project. So that's how it's done. And if you've got any questions, please type them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. And as a small token of appreciation, remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. And next time, I wish you all the best.